build a holder to keep binoculars, tools, and tackles all in one place. I want to add a number of accessories into my boat, such as binoculars, a camera, fishing lines, some tools, and tackles, and I want them to be easily accessible. Unfortunately, my boat is small. There's not that much space to keep all the accessories within easy reach. I can only find one small area in the starboard side of the center console that I can store the accessory and not get in the way of foot traffic. Because that area is small, I need to squeeze many accessories into a small place. I need to find or build a container that can hold many different things, not just one thing. The difficult thing is that I need to keep the binoculars and the camera reasonably dry. I need the container to have a lid to cover the items inside the container. This significantly narrows my choice, because most commercially available holders for accessories are open top. There is one very attractive binocular holder available, but it is expensive and it can only hold one pair of binoculars and nothing else. I decided to fabricate a holder that can hold all the accessories in one small place. This is my all-in-one holder. Under the lid, I have my binoculars and my small camera. In the right hand side, I have a long cutting knife for cutting chuck base. In the other side, I have a fillet knife and a knife for cutting strip base. I also have a wire cutter and a long nose pliers. Back to the right hand side, I have a 2-in-1 tool and a small dip net. Finally, there are many small round holes for hanging large lures and small lures. There's nothing special about the box. Probably the most difficult part of the entire project is to make the lift to operate properly, but I won't bore you about that. I cut slot along the edge of the underside of the lift. That is to somewhat reduce the chance of getting water inside the box. The indentation in the front of the box is for opening the lift. There's one hole in each corner in the bottom of the box for drainage. Most of the parts are made from 1/2 inch thick starboard. Only 2 parts are made from 1/4 inch starboard. In each side of the box, we have a tools and tackles holder. It also hides the many screws that are for constructing the box. This tools and tackles holder is made from several parts. First is the part that has slots carved on it, one slot for each knife. This part is being sandwiched inside and is largely hidden from view. The part goes over it is 1/4 inch thick and is exposed to be viewed. Attached to it are 2 horizontal pieces for holding the tools and tackles. The part that holds the fishing knife is made from 1/2 inch material. It has to be 1/2 inch. This has to be that thick in order to leave enough clearance to clear the handle of a fishing knife. We need to choose the correct fishing knives. If the knife is longer than the box, its point will stick out. In that case, it needs to have a blunt end instead of a pointy end. This is to avoid any accident. I need to carve the shape of the blade of the fishing knife on the plastic board. When I position the blade, I position the sharp edge facing inside. Again, this was to avoid any accident. I also need to carve a slot going all the way to the bottom. This is for shrinkage. I use a mortising welder bit. I use it to carve a shallow slot. The slot is in the shape of the blade of the fishing knife. The mortising welder bit is very small. Then I won't mistakenly carve out too much material. And then I use a small chisel to fine-tune the shape of the slot to exactly match the blade of the fishing knife. Actually, the shape doesn't have to be exact, but I did it anyway. The slot needs to be very shallow. If it's too big, the knife will rattle. The thickness of the blade of each fishing knife is different from each other. Therefore, the depth of the slot needs to be customized for each knife. The entry point of the slot needs to be slightly enlarged. This allows us to insert a knife easily into the slot. This was quite easy to make the horizontal parts that hold tools and tangles. The only difficult thing was to cut a hole to insert a tool into it. I use a Forstner blade to cut a series of clean-edged holes and also to remove most of the materials from the hole. And then I use a chisel to cut straight edge in both sides. If the edge is too rough, I use a spiral cutting bit from a Dremel toolkit to clean up the edge. Honestly, my result is not that good. You may want to try a different technique. I use long screws to attach the horizontal part to the vertical part. The screws are screwing in from the inside. Then the screw heads are not visible from the outside. That is how the tools and tangles holder looks when it is fully assembled. Please note that I have countersunk the area for the screw heads. Then the back side of the holder can lay flat on the side of the box. I use nuts and bolts to attach the tools and tangles holder to the side of the box. I use a large washer along with nuts and bolts. The washer is oversized because I need to cover up a mistake. You don't need such a large washer. I use lock nuts instead of regular nuts. This is not only to get a secure connection, but also to create a round, smooth surface. Then the rub end of a bolt would not scratch the binoculars or camera inside the box. The thickness of the washer also helps prevent the end of the bolt from sticking out. Despite the cold weather, I managed to temporarily mount the all-in-one holder in the boat. It takes up almost the entire width of the available space in the side of the center console. I leave plenty of room near the corner to keep it away from the foot traffic. Because the weather is too cold for applying caulking material, I will have to wait for next spring before I can permanently mount it in the boat. This project seems to turn out okay, but I need to mention some concerns that I have about this project. First, plastic starboard material is heavy, and I use thick 1/2 inch starboard to construct this project. The final product has some wave in it. When I install this all-in-one holder in my boat, I use oversized washers behind the wall to spread the load. Secondly, plastic starboard material is not cheap. I cannot build this to save enough money to justify the time and material costs. I only build this to make a better use of a limited space. If you want to build something similar to this all-in-one holder, you may want to consider using thin piece of plywood to construct the box. The advantage of using plywood is that the final product will be much lighter. You can fiberglass and epoxy the plywood box together instead of using screws. I use starboard to build the box. Starboard cannot be glued together. Therefore, I'm forced to use screws to build the box. Using screws means that I have to use thick 1/2 inch material to build the box. This adds to the wave. If you use plywood and fiberglass, you can use thin 1/4 inch plywood, and you can reduce a lot of wave. Moreover, plywood is not as dense as starboard. This is one more reason why the final product will be much lighter than if it is built from starboard. The disadvantage is that the material cost may actually be higher than using starboard. If you already have epoxy and marine grade paint laying around in your shop left over from your other projects, you will spend very little money in material. If you don't have material on hand already, you will find that you will have to buy one big can of expensive epoxy to build this small project, and you will have tons of leftover. The marine grade paint is also quite expensive. Moreover, you will spend more time sanding and finishing the box than if you use starboard. After comparing the pros and cons of using plywood to build the box, I decided to stick with starboard. I make this video to show how we can combine multiple functions to fit into one small space inside a boat. I hope this will be useful for people who have small boats. Good luck!